Hi, I'm going to be looking at word reading and blending, looking at tricky words, alien words, different things like that we do all of the time in school, but just now obviously on video, but it still will be a similar format to what we do at school. Today I'm just actually going to go over what these words mean for parents, just so that you at home can support your children as well and know what we're talking about when we talk about phonics. I'm sure a lot of you know what these words mean anyway, but I think it's just important to go back through just to make sure that when your child is using these words, or when I'm talking about them, just that you know what they mean so that you can help to support your child. Right, okay, so here we just have regular word reading like we would if we were in phonics lessons or if you were just reading any book with a child. So we would look at the sounds and we would decode it and try to blend the sounds together to read the word. So here we have ch, ip. Now underneath we have the dots and the dashes. What that means is that this is one sound. So the ch sound is one sound, but it has two letters in it. So although it's got two letters, it is still just one sound, and we use the dash to show that. And then the dots just show us that that is one sound. So the one letter is the one sound. So the children would go ch, ip, chip. So there would be three sounds there in total. 1, 2, 3, even though there are 4 letters. And we actually call that usually Fred fingers. So if I ever say, and how many Fred fingers can we see, or can we hear? It would be a case of counting how many sounds there are in the word. So ch, ip, chip. Here again, this is just a regular word, except this time we've used a split diagraph. I have talked about this in a previous video, but I will just go back through it in case you didn't watch the last video. What this means is it makes one sound, but the letters don't sit together. So we have k, a, k, cake. Now what we say in class is that the a and the e were being a little bit silly, so someone had to sit in between them. So the teacher made the k sound sit in between them because they were being a little bit silly. So they still do make just the one sound, but they're not together. Sometimes we also spot if there is an e on the end of a word, and then we call it the magic e. And sometimes that helps us to spot if the word is going to use a split diagraph or not. So again, we would just say k, a, k, cake. And Fred fingers again, we have 1, 2, and then our split diagraph. So cake also has 3 Fred fingers. There are 3 sounds. That doesn't just go for a. There are other split diagraph sounds that we will look at again, but I just thought I would remind you of what the line above the words and the sounds means. When we say a split diagraph, it will always have the line above rather than below. Here we have an alien word. Now I have spoken to you all about alien words because this is what they use in phonics screening. Obviously things have changed and the children won't be doing phonics screening in June, but we still do use them a lot in phonics because it really does help with their word reading. So there will be a word like this. It doesn't show any dots or dashes on it, and the children have to try and spot the sounds and read it. The reason it's an alien word is because the word isn't a real word. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't make sense. But the children should be able to read it with their phonic knowledge, whether it's a real word or not. So here we have sh-r-op, shrop. So the children can put the dots and dashes on if they want, but they should be able to recognise that the s and h together make a sh sound, and the rest are just usual one letter sounds. I'll put the dots and dashes on for you now. If the children want to do this at home, that's great, but they don't have to. So we would have the sh sound. So we would have 4 sounds for the word shrop. Again, this comes using many different sounds, many different letters. Some are complex, some alien words do use the split digraph, some don't, but really all it is a word that doesn't make any sense. And we often have this little alien next to the word just to let the children know that it's not a real word, but they should be able to read it. Another thing that we've talked about in class quite a lot is how the alien words often look like real words, and that the aliens are trying to trick them. Obviously, when you are 4, 5, 6, you're learning a lot of words, so it can be a little bit confusing, especially when you see words that look like real words. I think a lot of children here may guess that this is going to say shop because they can see a lot of familiar sounds similar to the words shop. So we really have to say to the children that they need to really look at these sounds and not let the aliens trick them. Children are really, really good at this. Yeah, that is the alien words. And lastly, we have the tricky words. Now, the children start tricky words in reception when they're reading. It is difficult with tricky words because they don't follow the same pattern that the children learn in phonics. So you can't actually use phonics to read the word. So just say we have the word the here. Obviously, when we say the, it doesn't end with an e or an e sound. The. We expect that it's maybe going to have an ending, but it doesn't. So we actually just have to learn how to spell these words and how to read these words. We can sometimes come up with different things to help the children remember. So I know a lot of the children in class, one will shout the, or they will say 2 happy elephants, and that will help them to spell the word the. Little things like that will really, really help with tricky words. But as I continue to do these videos, I will give you different ideas for different spellings. I hope that was helpful. I know you may not need all of them, but I did just think it was really important to go back through so that as we start these videos, you're confident with what I'm talking about and can help the children out as well. Obviously this video will just be there for you to look at, so if you ever are a little bit confused or need some help, the video will just be there for you to go and watch again. Let me know if you have any questions or anything like that, and I can definitely answer them for you when I call or on later videos. I hope you have a lovely day, and I'll hopefully speak to you soon. See you later. Bye.